Smack contains spoilers of the spoiling type. If you don't want your spoilers spoiled, please turn back now. Otherwise, enjoy the show!
Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds. Lawrence?
Ladies and gentlemen! Welcome to the main event! This is Cinesmack! And the winner is...
Hello, Cinesmacketeers, and welcome to bout number 180 of Cinesmack, the podcast about films by filmmakers. I am your host, Mike Keeler. Joining me tonight is our panel of award-winning judges. First, writer, actor, and director Kyle, a little Crisco, and some fishing wire, and we'll be in business fine.
Hey, it sounds like a good time to me. I am one long stomach flu away from my goal weight.
Second, filmmaker and owner of Arizona Ink Studios, Andrew. Wreaking havoc at galas is my personal specialty. Zumwalt.
Anyway, mustache, much to avenge, revenge, and destroy.
Third, filmmaker and owner of One Genome Short Productions, Gabriel. Python's hot right now. Rowald.
The good thing about evil people is you can always trust them to do something, well, evil.
Fourth, filmmaker and owner of Cheshire Moon Films, Tom. Being a genius is one thing. Raising a genius, however, does come with its challenges. Haggis.
It said there's 5 stages of grief. I'd like to add a 6th. Podcasting.
Yes. And you did raise a genius, by the way.
Last but certainly not least, our special guest for this episode, actor, costumer, genius, and ramen enthusiast, Maggie. Why is Danny Boyle at our house again? Haggis.
Everyone wants to be us.
All right, let's poke the monkey and find out what movies we're talking about tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, erstwhile orphans and inundated assistants, welcome to the main event. Tonight, 2 ambitious ingenues navigate new horizons, hoping to ascend and advance. Will we be kind to Cruella? Or will the Devil Wears Prada have its due? In the first corner, from 2021, written by Dana Fox, Tony McNamara, and Ali Ross McKenna. Directed by Craig Gillespie. Starring Joel Fry, Emma Thompson, and Emma Stone. Cruella. In the second corner, from 2006, written by Aline Ross McKenna and Lauren Weisberger. Directed by David Franco. Starring Adrienne Grenier, Meryl Streep, and Anne Hathaway. The Devil Wears Prada.
All All right, let's get right into it. Let's start with our first round, which is writing.
All right, so Maggie and I are going to talk about writing. I really like both these scripts. I think that they do a lot. Maggie's read the book, right?
Yeah.
So how different from the book is the movie?
It's like a pretty similar storyline overall, but the finer details are different.
What's the biggest change?
Probably how she quits at the end.
Oh,
There's
right.
like a whole scene where she, like in the book, where she
She like flings feces all over the runway or something.
no, she like yells at Miranda in front of everybody and then like leaves.
Oh, I would
And
have
her
paid to see
best
that.
friend Lily is a bigger part in the book.
Her best friend Lily. Oh,
Yeah.
the one that's always at the restaurant.
The art gallery.
Yeah. Ah, cool. I think what they did with Cruella and expanding from 101 Dalmatians, which I mean really wasn't one of Disney's more popular animated films compared to like Lion King and Aladdin, but the fact that they were able to pull such a deep, complicated story out of 101 Dalmatians, I think was incredible. And I think maybe they put a little too much though, because like I don't know, the last half hour kind of drags a little bit, and it just seems like, all right, let's wrap it up. So if Cruella's fault is anywhere, I think it's too long. I will say I love the cerulean monologue in Devil Wears Prada. I think it's probably one of the best monologues of the last I don't know 25 years. It's really good. It's really thought out. What do you think?
Yeah, I almost did it for speech, but it was too short.
It was too short.
Yeah, for acting.
Oh. It's really clever. So my question, so I want to give writing to Devil Wears Prada because I love that monologue, and I felt like Cruella went on too long. The problem I ran into is that I found out that the speech about that color and Oscar de la Renta isn't actually true. It's actually kind of manufactured from a couple different things, and there's some dramatic license given. And I find that really hard to believe that with the centuries of fashion, they could not come up with like a real world example to stick in there and use there, that they had to kind of massage the history a little bit. And I'm really disappointed in that. I did try to contact the screenwriters and ask them why they did it that way, but they didn't write me back, and they blocked me. And
Are you serious?
And 2 people have visited my house asking me to stop. So
Wow.
yeah, I tried.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah,
if I used the
Kyle
word,
was one of them that visited.
I
your
did.
house.
I thought that was you.
Yeah, Stanley Tucci got a hold of me and they said, you got to get this Tom guy under control.
Who is this?
Tooch.
I thought if I used the words "my podcast," people would be like, "Oh, that sounds legit."
Yeah.
He doesn't sound like a psycho at all.
Saying you have a podcast in 2026 doesn't mean much anymore. Like everyone's got a podcast.
Yeah, but we've been on for 16 years.
Yeah. It was, I mean, and it was overdone then. So, so Cruella, I'll be honest, I've never seen either of these movies before. Cruella, I've also never seen 101 Dalmatians. Probably because when I was a child, that would have scared me a little too much. I mean, I probably was a little too old to be scared of that, but a woman wanting to make a coat out of animals was probably pretty scary for me. Cruella obviously is a real life prequel to a cartoon movie, which I feel like they leaned a lot into the cartoonish aspects of that story, of where it would eventually go with some of their characters. Their bumbling accomplices are pretty much human cartoon characters. Paul Walter Hauser and the other guy whose name I cannot remember now, which bugs me because he was in Game of Thrones and I really liked him. I love the dogs. Give the dogs more stuff to do. Wink is my favorite character in cinema. I want a one-eyed pickpocket dog. That's great. The characters, protagonists, a little hard to root for at times. The antagonists were very kind of one note evil, especially in Cruella, where it's just like, okay, so this woman will just do anything evil to protect her fashion empire. And I feel like, and it's not necessarily the movie's fault this time, but 2006 would have probably been a pretty big year for magazines. And now looking back at it's farcical that someone wanted to get ahead in the magazine game. Of course, there's probably money to be made in New York at that time, but yeah, it's kind of silly now. My problem with The Devil Wears Prada is that there are a lot of people who will just hang around and seem to be okay selling their souls for like abuse from the top down. And I feel like the character that we're supposed to root for gets really deep into it and suffers basically no repercussions in the end, and just very narrowly sees her way out of it and goes back to a life that all is forgiven. We don't have to talk about anything that you did wrong. And we want to move up to Boston and eat grilled cheese with me. So I feel that was really unsatisfying at the end of that. Yeah, Meryl Streep's given quite a bit of dialogue to chew over, and she's great at that. I mean, she plays mean well, which is surprising because I would imagine she's probably a fairly nice lady. But yeah, I just did not think either of them were the strongest. The story went off the rails in Cruella at times. It's very fanciful and very artistic. I think things are very over the top on purpose. It's incredibly colorful and very forward with its visuals and ideas. I think sometimes, though, the number of set pieces they do gets a bit repetitive and it slows things down a little bit. And I don't know. Outside of like Satan, it's hard to think of two worse people. So, you know, it's just unrealistic. But yeah, I'll let someone else go.
I thought it was interesting that both movies were written by the same lady. So I thought that was kind of fun because they're really kind of similar movies in the aspect of who they are, with your main character being a villain in fashion.
Yeah, they do have at least one writer in common. I noticed that.
And
Yeah,
and
her lawyer is really nice, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought they didn't respond.
No. The lawyer responded to leave her alone.
Oh.
It was him and Kyle.
Well,
I'm all over the place, Tom.
it kind of felt like Cruella was the grandmother of The Devil Wears Prada, because she like turns in to Miranda. And I think that's just comparing the two styles of writing and the main topic of, you know, you had this overbearing fashion goddess in the story as your pivot, as your moment. I would agree that Andy's character, yeah, at the very end, Kyle, I hate to break it to you, but the story was about love. They loved each other, and that's all that matters. And so that's why there's no repercussions. And yes, that's.
And you're allowed to behave in any way you'd like for as long as you'd like, and you will be instantly forgiven.
Because the power of
by the guy
is stronger
who played
than fashion in every way, shape, or form.
Right. Yeah. By the guy who played Vinny in Entourage. Was Turtle not available?
So, I mean, yes, you are correct. It was definitely a Hollywood ending without any kind of repercussions. I would also agree with Tom. You guys were talking about the original story and her lashing out at Miranda and having the big blowout that she does in the original story. Andy's character, the way it's portrayed in the movie, it would be really hard for us to believe. So I'm really glad they kind of shifted that, because based on how they had Andy actually as a character in the movie, her lashing out at Miranda, it wouldn't have been believable, if that makes sense. So, and I think that's just a change in how her character develops differently. I would say with Cruella, super fun movie, very cartoony, as everyone said. Story was definitely dead parents. It was Disney, so what do you expect? You know, super. I would say it's probably one of my favorite prequels out of all the random crazy, hey, we need to make live action about everything that Disney's doing lately. I really enjoyed it. I had fun with it. It's kind of goofy and loopy at sometimes. Joel King is probably one of Joel King, right? I think that's his name. Joel Fry, sorry. Joel Fry is probably one of my favorite, just fun actors who I really believe can do pretty much anything. So I really enjoy him and seeing him in some of these goofy, funny roles. And he has quite the scope in this movie. For me, he takes the cake pretty much in that entire movie. He just is a really good actor, in my opinion. But yeah. Gabe, rolling it to you, buddy.
Well, yeah. Well, I'd like to give Maggie a minute to talk about her thoughts on this. I mean, she's a special guest tonight. She should have some. She should have some say on the
Gabe,
writing of the
Gabe, Gabe.
Yes.
I'm not doing trivia tonight, so she can have the last word of every category.
Well,
so you go ahead.
Okay. Well, fine. The trivia. Okay. Well, I think the writing on both of these is pretty strong. I enjoyed both. I think Kyle said he hadn't seen either of these, and neither had I. I enjoyed the writing on both. I thought the situations and the dialogue were really well done. I actually found Cruella more entertaining than I thought I would, and it was in large part because of in my opinion, because of the writing. Although I think Tom had mentioned that it was maybe a little bit long, and so I felt like there may have been room to cut some stuff out of Cruella, but I thought the character development and the dialogue were very good on both of these. I really don't have any strong opinions about the writing of these.
And that's called dead air. Does anyone
I
have
think
anything?
he was throwing it back to Maggie without saying anything.
I don't know.
Gabe just stopped. Stopped.
I want to put out one question quick before we go there. Is it in a movie where your protagonist is either a doormat for someone or kind of sells their soul out in places, or in the case of Cruella, has some obvious evil tendencies? There's a side of her that comes out and sows chaos. Is it a shortcut at the end where you're just supposed to forgive them? And let's hand wave that away and not talk too much about it because it would be uncomfortable, especially in these kind of lighter films. But also in the end of Cruella, doesn't it seem like she hasn't learned her lesson from everything that's gone on? She moves into this big house, but she's still being Cruella. She's not really acting like
Stella is technically dead.
Well, I understand that, but when she's inside the house around people who are supposed to be close to her, she's still acting that way. It just seems strange to me.
But who was acting? Which one of them was acting? I feel like Estella may have been the act, and Cruella was the real her.
And even at the end, though, with Cruella, with bringing everybody in the house, I mean, you have to add some humanality to the cartoon character that they've already built in 101 Dalmatians. And I think they had to give her some humanity, because otherwise, why am I watching this movie about Cruella if there is no humanity to her at all? And, part of that is making her an orphan and having, in a sense, dead parents or an evil parent. Like, that's a big trope within Disney. And so you have to give her something. Her having friends that she brought along with her. Now, we all know in the cartoon, she's pretty rough to Horace, and I can't think of the character's other name, but she's pretty rough to them in the cartoon. And here she is too, but yet she still has a soft spot for him because she still grew up with them. So I feel like that gives a little bit more background to her and a little more personality than just the two-dimensional cartoon that they, evil, kind of thing.
Well, that's been Disney's thing though lately, is doing movies with no villains at all.
Correct.
And now they're kind of going back and like Cruella, who was this evil dog killer in the cartoon, is now a product of her mom's evil. And it's like, oh, it's not your fault. Your demons are not your fault. And they're just like,
And
I
she
don't
didn't kill the
I'm kind of
dogs.
okay with it. And she didn't kill the dog. So
They changed that. I mean, they changed that dialogue, right? Because
guess, yeah.
everyone thinks that she did. And so it still plays into the story and the cartoon that comes next, in a sense, without her actually done it. So it's.
I will be interested. We're getting sequels for both these movies, I think, in
Yes.
the next 12 months. So I'll be interested to see
Yeah.
what happens.
Well, Devil comes out this summer, correct?
Maggie,
The Devil is
Soon.
Maggie, when does Devil Wears Prada 2 come out?
May 1st.
May 1st.
there. It is
Oh.
May. Okay, so
All
it's
right.
the spring.
And can you believe it's been 25 years?
Yeah,
25 years.
Remember the first time you saw it in the theater?
Well, 20,
Right. Yeah,
20 years.
I was gonna say that.
20
No, what
years.
didn't
Devil
Yeah,
Wears
20
in
years.
2006.
Yep.
2006.
Oh, 2006. I thought it was 2001. Yeah, but nevertheless,
Yeah.
a ridiculous amount of time in between the two.
All right. We've
And-
got
And
a-
neither one of them have aged a day.
No, none of them.
all right. We got to ask Maggie, do you have any final thoughts on writing for both these films?
I think I like The Devil Wears Prada better because, I mean, I've watched it like at least a dozen times. I've seen it so many times. And the thing about me is I hate doing things twice. I hate doing things again and again. So for me to watch something that many times, I think really says something about like how good of a story it is and how many times I can go back and watch it and find new lines that I think are funny or stuff like that.
Okay. Fair enough. Thank you. Let's put it to a vote. Tom.
I'm going to go with Devil Wears Prada, even though they won't call me back.
Kyle.
You have to answer the phone every time it rings, Tom. You didn't do that, and that's why.
I even tried to do it through Insta, and they didn't. Just I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
Coat, bag.
Yeah. Just on the strength of some of the monologues and the things they give Meryl Streep to do, I'm going to give it to Devil Wears Prada.
All right. Gabe.
I really enjoyed the writing of Cruella, so I'm going to go with Cruella.
All right. And Andrew.
I'm also going to go with The Devil Wears Prada. Just some of that dialogue, the wittiness, the banter of Miranda is just too good. And Meryl Streep, mwah, chef's kiss.
All right. Let's move on to our second round, which is acting.
Oh yeah, crap.
There you go. Are you ready to go? Okay. Acting. Devil Wears Prada has a very strong lineup of actors and actresses in it, headlined, of course, by Meryl Streep. Anne Hathaway is no slouch. Emily Blunt is in this movie, which I couldn't believe. I did not know she was going to be in this film. Stanley Tucci. Always good to see Stanley Tucci. Never disappointed. I know that Giselle Bundchen is in it. My wife had to put her out. I had no idea. I know there are probably other models and fashion people in the movie, but I don't know who they are. I thought Meryl Streep was very good. She won a Golden Globe for this performance. She was nominated for an Oscar for this performance. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know what the rest of the what her competition would have been that year. Might have to look back, but I think Anne Hathaway plays very sympathetic in the short term. It's easy to believe she's upset in the moment, but she doesn't. Her character seems a bit clueless that she's getting lost in all of this, and really gives up a lot of her agency in it. And I feel like that makes her performance fall apart a little bit because she's not present in the moments and seeing these things happen to her. Cruella, I have a weird thing about taking American actors and actresses and making them do British voices. If you're going to do that in a movie, there should be all Americans doing British voices instead of putting Emma Thompson in there and Joel Fry in there, who obviously sound British. Paul Walter Hauser and Emma Stone sound like people doing British karaoke. I don't know what it is about Emma Stone, but she likes to do British accents. I don't know why, but her acting is unhinged at points. But I think that fits the character. She is very bright and forward. Her acting is really... I am a newcomer to liking Emma Stone. Like, I didn't watch a lot of her movies years ago, but she seems really fearless and upfront and willing to do just whatever that the script calls for her. So I think she does a really good job. And Emma Thompson is a very likable person who makes herself unlikable in this movie, which I also consider a success. Mark Strong, love when Mark Strong shows up. Immediate 1.5 stars up when Mark Strong's in your movie. The most handsome bald guy, he should be Jason Statham if he had better knees and had better cardio. He's great. I mean, he's always great. I've never seen him give a bad performance except for The Brothers Grimsby, but that's not his fault. That movie is a train wreck. Yeah, I thought the acting all around was fairly good. It's weak in spots. It's much more grounded, obviously, in The Devil Wears Prada because it's not so fantastical. But there are definitely moments where you're like, oh, this doesn't feel like a real friend group. This doesn't feel like a real relationship. This doesn't feel like, oh, I see Tom's gonna sick his daughter on me. He's riling her up. Yeah, I just didn't buy all that.
She's pissed. She is so pissed right now.
Oh yeah, I can tell. She's just turning red, and she doesn't at all look unhinged like you do, Tom. Yeah, I don't know. Mixed bag for me. I give Emma Stone a lot of credit for being fearless, but is it always aimed in the right direction of like being good? I don't know, but that's up for interpretation.
Yeah, like all the friend groups I know are like they're all computer screens and webcams. So I agree with you. The friend group did not look real to me at all, but it was definitely pre-COVID. So I think there's so much great acting in there. I can forgive a lot of the scenery chewing and Cruella because it just lends itself so much to that. It is interesting to see how many parallels are between the two movies. I think Mark Strong and Stanley Tucci characters have a lot of, and the Baroness have a lot in common with their roles. So I think, yeah, as far as acting goes, I think they did a great job. Devil Wears Prada is a little tougher because, like you said, it's grounded in real world, so it's they can't be as over the top, although that doesn't top Meryl Streep. It never does. So it's weird how entertaining and repulsive Miranda Priestley is at the same time. Like, gosh, she's such a horrible person. I can't take my eyes off of her, which I think is one of the things that Meryl Streep, I think, gets a lot of credit for. Is it very easily could have been a very flat character that turns people away, but she did great. Yeah, so that's it.
So did Mark Strong then go on to be the Kingsman? Is that how he got started? Because he was done with Cruella.
Yeah.
No, nobody. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move on. So I thought it was.
Oh, sad trombone. Ouch.
I was really, really hoping that there was going to be sound effects tonight, so I'm glad that we got that in.
There's always going to be sound effects.
Hey, I'm trying to build a multiverse here with all these movies, so you just hush it. So I thought it was really interesting that that the Miranda character was actually, in a sense, built off of someone real. And interesting enough that Meryl Streep, actually got to meet her, and the similarities and the personifications that were done are quite enamoring. And I find that to be cute and fun and interesting, and kind of a little afraid if does that workplace actually exist. Because it's almost terrifying to think that, it's fun to watch as a third person in a movie and see the goofy story and everything else, but I don't know, is that a real thing? Because that would be terrifying. But I would agree with Kyle in saying that, she does an amazing job playing this just mean, she's a bitch. Like, she's just mean, but you still love her for some reason. And it's one of those things that is like, I don't know how. And I mean, honestly, out of everything, the Andy character and just letting herself kind of get enveloped and then immediately doing a 360 because she decides that's not what she's going to do. I'm glad she found herself, I guess, throughout this process of being tortured and everything else. And I think Anne Hathaway does a good job of doing the plain Jane and then going to the fancier, she gets herself all dolled up and then realizes that it doesn't really matter. And I think there's even a line at the very beginning where she's like, or no, I guess Stanley Tucci tells her that, oh, you believe that what you're wearing on the outside doesn't really matter because it's all on the inside. Well, good for you. And that ends up actually being like her full character, like throughout the entire movie, because she does the roller coaster and comes back and realizes, and Anne Hathaway plays that role really well. Like, she did it with Princess Diaries twice. And she does it with this quite, right on spot. So, yeah, Cruella, I like Emma Stone. I like her doing stuff. Emma Thompson, funny enough, has done a lot of other Disney projects. I don't know. Emma Thompson as a mean woman is just kind of weird. It doesn't really, I don't know. Something felt weird to me with her playing that role. And maybe it's just, I've seen her in too many other roles where she's nice. No, it was just awkward.
Kenneth Branagh thought she was great.
In what?
Kenneth Branagh thought she was perfect for the role.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was something off about her in Cruella that seemed, maybe it was just that it was trying to be that over cartoony. And so maybe they were overacting it a little bit. I don't know. It just, she was building a wild character versus just, I don't know. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, to Kyle's one shout out, Emily Blunt, a tiny unknown, like if you saw her now, you'd be like, that was Emily Blunt.
Yeah.
So thought that was kind of fun too. She looks totally different now than she did when she did Devil Wears Prada by a lot.
I love the, I don't want to say twist, but the little touch of making Stanley Tucci the fairy godmother in the Cinderella story.
Sure.
That he's the one that comes up with the dress and the pumpkins and the travel. Like, it's just, I thought it was a really cool touch because he's, I don't know, he seems so hard to win over, but he wins him over fairly quickly. So,
can I also point out that he does mention Cinderella while they're in the dressing room, which means Cinderella exists in that world.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the story of Cinderella, right? Like, I don't think he really thinks she's Cinderella.
No. In Cruella, when they're in the shop, he mentions Cinderella, which means that Cinderella exists in the world with Cruella.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's the Disney universe.
I'm just pointing it out. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Just a weird
Did
inception.
by 2006 had we not gotten over the idea that we could pretend Anne Hathaway isn't gorgeous? Like, what is this idea? This is such a 90s thing.
She made me read Princess Diaries.
I know, but this is such a 90s thing where there's like a literal 10 on screen, and they're like, "What is wrong with your face and clothes?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, oh woof, yeah, come on!" Like, this is silly.
No.
She wasn't even wearing glasses. She didn't have her hair in a bun. Like, there's worse. She should be covered in paint. Kyle, I know, it's terrible.
Look.
So true.
Oh my God, who's that handsome man with? Who's that handsome man with mutton chops? Just took his glasses off.
Glasses are back on.
Oh no!
Homely again.
A literal Duluth 4.
That was like
That's
the
what you
Yeah.
are. No, but man, I that part really bugged me because I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it. You're in this high fashion world, but yeah, let's all pretend Anne Hathaway and let's body shame Anne Hathaway. Like, you guys are out of your mind.
a 6 is
but-
the new 14, baby.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
one thing I know that's not the acting, talk about that, but it was a very different world 20 years ago. But the amount of body shaming that goes on the Devil Wears Prada is like, man, it's kind of cringy now. But at the same time, it's the fashion world. I understand it's much different than the world that most people move through, but I liked Stanley Tucci a lot, and I think that if anyone in the movie could actually dress really well, it'd probably be Stanley Tucci. I feel like he owns a lot of really nice suits. That I just get that vibe from him.
Yeah. He's a man of good taste.
That
It seems like it, yeah.
that line when they're actually in the lunch line and she gets corn chowder and he goes, you realize that the main ingredient of corn chowder is cellulite.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to say that I think the casting of both of these films is really great, actually. There's great casting in both of these. But one thing, I know that Mike is skipping trivia for tonight, but I would like to talk about one probably well-known trivia item for one of these movies, because I think it relates to acting. And I want to get your guys' opinion on it. So apparently, on the first day of filming, Meryl Streep told Anne Hathaway, I think you're perfect for this role. I'm so happy we're going to be working together. Then she paused and followed with, that's the last nice thing I'll say to you. And I wonder about that. It's hard to know if that's true. If that was actually the last nice thing she said to Anne Hathaway. But if it was, why was that? Do you think that Meryl Streep was kind of method at that point? And she's like, I am, after this moment, I am now this character who is a nasty, mean, awful person who's going to never be nice to you, at least not to your face. So do you think it's because she was being method, or do you think it was actually how Meryl Streep is? Because I feel like Meryl Streep is not like that.
I have heard so many positive things about Meryl Streep from many of interviews, many people that have talked about her. I believe that you were closer to method. I think it's a Daniel Day-Lewis moment.
Here's my
Right.
here's
It's like,
here's my
here-
theory on it. Am I?
Go ahead.
My theory.
We're
my theory
smacking.
is
That's
that
why, Tom.
She has. My theory is that she has to do that. Like, she's like, I'm going to be nice to you right now because I am such a nice person and I am such a bad actress that I have to just start being mean to you in real life. Otherwise, it won't translate. I think it's just Meryl Streep
Right.
coming to terms with her own shortcomings as an actress.
It's a
Right. Yeah.
Tom's
No,
method.
right. No, I just thought that was an interesting thing. And I feel like, from what I've seen and heard of Meryl Streep, I just don't feel like she could continue to be nasty to, her, to Anne Hathaway and her other, co-actors in that. So I just thought that was interesting trivia.
You should go, Gabe. You should go watch some of the bloopers, and that will change your perception.
Okay. I definitely did not spend any time watching bloopers.
All right, rounds ended.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't have
So
my
Maggie,
shut up,
do you have
shut
any
up, Gabe.
Maggie, do you have any last minute words? Because I guess we're ending with you now.
Maggie, go ahead.
I think, well, obviously in Cruella, Emma Stone's amazing because she plays basically two characters, that are also one. But another person that I really like from Cruella, I don't know his name, but the guy who plays Artie, he's really funny.
He is really
and
good.
he has some really, really great line reads.
John McCrae.
There you go.
Yeah, he's great. And then everyone at the Devil Wears Prada is awesome. But I think especially Stanley Tucci, because again, he has this great line reads. He has that monologue
The
about
Tooch.
like how when Anne Hathaway like goes to ask him for help, he has his whole monologue about
Should I pity
how
you?
and like how when he was a little boy, like he read Runway under the covers at night and stuff, and I really love that monologue from him. I think he did a great job with that. Yeah.
All right.
We've tried to get Stanley on the podcast.
We have. The problem is we sent Tom after him, and
Yeah, and that ruins it right there.
You know
That's
what?
crazy.
It was going really well, and then I said he was like all for it, and then the last thing I said was I'll be in Tooch, and I winked, and I have not heard from him since.
Damn it!
Yeah.
I don't
was
think he
probably
likes
it.
puns.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
probably it.
That's funny because he made me pasta a couple nights ago and he read from his pun joke book. So I just think he doesn't like you.
Oh, well, that makes me feel better.
He said pun. You mean like punch Tom in the face? That's what I think of when I think of pun.
Yeah.
Stanley Tucci doesn't like you. I'm sorry, Tom.
all right.
I'll just add him to the list.
Just
Oh no.
all right, Kyle, go ahead and vote.
Oh no, I don't want to. I'm gonna give it to Cruella.
All right. Gabe. Gabe, you're muted if you're talking.
Yeah, sorry. I have to double mute and unmute. Sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, I know. This one's tough. I'm going to go with Devil Wears Prada.
All right. Andrew.
I'm gonna go with The Devil Wears Prada.
All right. Tom.
Who should I vote for, Maggie?
You know.
I'm going to go Devil Wears Prada. Is that the correct answer?
Correct.
I can't vote against Meryl Streep.
Yeah, I can't really.
Now,
She lifted the restraining order. So
Maggie is our special guest, and I forgot to take her vote for the first round. So you get 2 votes
Oh.
this round. So you got to tell me who you wanted for writing and who you want for acting, Maggie.
Yeah, right now. Yeah.
I Devil Wears Prada for both.
Both? All right.
What?
Yes, for both.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Let's move on to our second
I
round,
voted first, so I guess I can't be upset.
which is
No Danny
directing.
Third
Boyle
round.
Check. No
Third
Danny
round.
Boyle.
Third round. Thank you, Kyle. Third round.
Mike forgot where he
Directing.
is.
Round 3.
No
Does
Danny
anyone
Boyle
else
check
smell-
this week.
Does anyone
Nope.
else smell burnt toast?
Yes, I think I'm having a stroke. Directing on these two. These are both really solid films from a directing standpoint. I think maybe one of them benefits from a little bit of time and technology. I think, Cruella is really, polished and beautiful. And, there's a lot of dynamic cinematography, dynamic lighting, that kind of thing. And I think it benefits from time in that respect. But I think they're both solidly directed. The directors got great performances out of their actors in both of these. So one thing about The Devil Wears Prada that I don't know. One of the things I noticed is there was a lot of scenes where they were rushing around New York and running across busy streets without looking. And in the end, that kind of came to fruition where, Emily Blunt's character got run into. So maybe it made sense that was just building up to that. But I was like, man, do people in New York just run across the street without looking? I mean,
Yes, they
it's like
do.
maybe they do. I don't know, but it's like the busiest city in the whole world. So, it's like I felt like maybe there were too many of those kinds of scenes, and I get it. It kind of pointed to the frantic nature of working for her and the stuff that you were expected to do in the one of the largest, busiest cities in the world. But I was like, okay, there were almost too many scenes of them just running around recklessly through traffic. Yeah, I don't know. I felt like Cruella was really solidly directed. Although I don't remember if it was Kyle or Tom who said maybe it was a little bit long. And this is one thing that I touch on a lot. That I feel like some of these things could be cut down a little bit. I felt like maybe Cruella was a little bit over long. It was over 2 hours long, and I feel like it could have been trimmed in here and there and still had the same impact and gotten across the same story. But it was beautifully shot. I think both of these are very well, directed, very competently directed.
We need to have a
Well,
Gabe 90-minute warning.
Yeah, I know.
Any
No,
movie over 90
seriously,
minutes.
there are certain movies that I love that are well over 2 hours. But at times I feel like does every movie have to be two
Blade
plus
Runner.
hours long now? Blade Runner. Well, yeah. No, the original Blade Runner, I don't remember how long that is, but the 2035 is almost 2.5.
Yeah.
But I
2049,
feel
Gabe. Come on. Blade Runner's an hour and 57 minutes.
is it?
Over
So it's
90.
just short.
It is.
It's over 90.
It is, but I think you could make an argument that on either of those, there are moments that could have been trimmed or shortened or cut out entirely. So anyway, that's just my opinion. So I think a lot of movies are over long and not for the right reasons.
I think
Oh,
this is
go
one
ahead, Tom.
category. I'm just gonna say I just think this is one category where it's just really cut and dry. I just thought the directing on Cruella. This is a movie that is way better than it has any right being. It's a live action prequel to a Disney movie that's not incredibly super popular like some of the other ones. And it's so much fun. The camera movements are exciting and keep you engaged. It's the composite shots I thought for the most part were really done well and really believable. They don't pull you out of the movie. It is Cruella's a little bit too long, but in terms of like Devil Wears Prada was very directed by the numbers, and I felt like Cruella, they had a director in it that lifted his game to the level of camp and satire and just whimsy that this movie required. And it's easily my favorite live action Disney remake that they've done. And I just I don't know. And a lot of that's the dialogue and the acting as well, but those things, it wouldn't carry me from scene to scene like it does without Gillespie's direction.
Hold on. Shots fired at Will Smith's Aladdin.
Well, but at the same time, Cruella is not technically a remake.
No,
of
it's
a
not.
Disney.
It's
No,
not.
It-
But
it's
this
a
live
prequel,
action,
isn't it? That's
it's a
kind of
little
a
live action
origin story.
spin-off. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I think it's one of the
live action.
best.
But it's there's Maleficent, and I mean they've done
Maleficent is,
more than a couple of these, and I put this in with live action Lion King and Aladdin, and got Moana coming out next week for some reason, and it's weird.
next
No, it's
week.
not.
So is it?
I was exaggerating. It's not next week, but it's this summer.
I work at the movie.
Or maybe
Yeah.
It's a busy time.
it's be Christmas. I don't give a shit. Anyway, so I think the of all
And
those
Tom was
Disney-
worried about me cussing.
Yeah, it's fine. She lives with me. She knows. So I think as far as live action, live action Disney stuff,
I'm sorry,
this one is
Maggie.
definitely my favorite. I am too.
Yeah.
I
How
am
did
too.
you turn out so
Dang.
normal?
Am I on this one?
Yeah, if you want to.
Really?
You can always talk. Yeah.
Yeah, anytime.
Anytime.
Especially if you want to cut off your dad.
Yeah.
Yes,
interrupt
please. If you cut off
interrupt
Tom, that's
Tom.
double bonus points.
Yeah, interrupt
Oh.
Tom all the time.
Or me.
I don't mind swearing in front of Maggie, but her friends are listening. Hey guys, do you want to shout out to your friends?
Oh yeah, sure.
Who's that listening?
Ella and Leah and I think Anara and Lisette. It's maybe Elodie.
That's 3 times more people than we've ever had.
That's
Do they exclusively all have A's at the end of their name?
A lot of them do actually.
Yeah, it's a lot of A's.
and Cruella.
Oh yeah, they're freaking out in the chat right now.
All right.
Very
Hey.
excited.
Actually, up until a couple years ago, referred to her as MAGA, and then was like, "We're gonna stop."
Oh
doing that.
no,
Right.
Oh,
that aged poorly.
oh.
Well, thank you, Maggie, for bringing a clear 300% increase to our audience. Cruella okay, so let me start with The Devil Wears Prada, which I think, like Tom said, is kind of by the book, especially for a movie shot in New York City. It's very kind of glitz and glamour and busy streets and lots of activity, right? They do that a lot. One thing that struck me, though, and really bugged me, is the movie starts with 2 almost full song musical montages, which is just a crazy directing choice. It starts out, I feel like it's like the beginning of 9 to 5 with Dolly Parton, like she's brushing her teeth and getting ready to work. And then she goes to work, and then there's an entire new fashion montage. And I'm like, man, you guys just padding the runtime. But also, I want to say, how much money did Cruella spend on its soundtrack? Because its budget was $100 million. And they must have spent $20 million on music
50,
because
50.
there are needle drops constantly of super popular songs that could not have been cheap. One thing that really bugged me in The Devil Wears Prada, and I'm not just, I promise I won't just bash it all day. I don't understand the quick pan zooms, like to people walking on the street, like, oh, let's catch fashion. It's like, this is an episode of 24. Like, you're not chasing a terrorist down the street. It's a really weird choice, especially for how locked off and kind of boring and unmoving the camera is a lot of the time. I don't know. And Paris is a beautiful city, and they didn't do a great job of showing how beautiful it was. They showed like one street corner that looked like a back lot. Like you have the Eiffel Tower, the Arc de Triomphe, you have all these things. You get a really nice fountain that you can throw an expensive phone into at the end, I guess. But like there's so much more you could have shown there. New York always has instant production value. Like you just get that from being in the city. It truly is like amazing just looking around everywhere most of the time. I mean, don't look too close because then it's really dirty. But I like the way they shot some of the interactions between. They did a really good job staging and like blocking in business, right? To like Meryl Streep walking in and throwing her coat and on the desk. I don't know how many takes they did of that, but it became hilarious because it was like, oh my God, how many days is this in a row where she's just throwing this stuff on her desk? The rest of it though was fairly average. Cruella was very fantastical, and I think it feels really close to if you turned a cartoon into real life. They got that about as close as you could, even to the point of like the comic like outfits, the undersized hats for these guys, you know, like it's very cartoonish. When they do the break-in at the fashion show and they drop those long ropes, they come straight down them very fast. They get up them very fast. Like that's all pretty much just live action cartoon stuff. The way they filmed the Cruella pop-up fashion shows was very bold and colorful. I loved it. The dump truck one bugged me because I'm like, if you're trying to catch her, that's a 20-foot train. Someone grab that. She is immediately like in custody. But I'm just thinking, too realistic. One thing is, I think that Cruella did a more flashy job of showcasing the sort of fashion than Devil Wears Prada, which is much more practical and probably about like the real world of fashion. But as far as like the outlandish costumes and costume design goes, and like the grandiose nature of that, Cruella really nailed that with the colors. And I especially like the first party she goes to, you know, the all like 17th century dress gown ball party. I thought that looked very cool. Yeah, I'm going to stop there.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. I think you had a lot of that fantastical stuff in Cruella that was just really awesome and really pretty. And yeah, it was weird that there was like 10 seconds tops, and that might be pushing it, a B-roll in Paris, which that was like the buildup of the entire movie. And there was like, I think they show the Eiffel Tower, they show the Ferris wheel, and then that's pretty much it. And the fountain at the end. There's like maybe 10 seconds of B-roll. I was really kind of blown away by that. And I don't even know if that street corner was in Paris. It probably was just a back lot. But yeah, it was directed wise, like cinematography. Yeah. I will say that there were the one montage you mentioned, Kyle, with the bag and the coat, that over and over was very cute. The other one that stuck out to me that I really thought was neat was after she goes through with Stanley Tucci's character and she gets all of the new clothes and everything, and then she's walking down the street and the taxi cab goes by and she's in a new outfit, and then she walks and then she's behind a pole in another. Like that whole montage was really, really neat. I really enjoyed that. It was very well done. Yes. Even when she like walks into the building, she picks up the phone, and then when she's hanging up, she's in a completely different outfit. Like it was just very well done. Those are probably like, you know, small little nods, but Cruella was just, I think more dynamic and really held you more into it, directing wise and cinematography. And now granted, they probably had a lot more visual effects and extensions and stuff that Devil Wear Prada didn't do, because, you know, it's all real and set in the real world. But yeah, I really enjoyed the cinematography and the directing with Cruella. I would agree with that. We'll talk about other stuff in overall. I don't want to give too much overall away. So Maggie, it's to you.
Kyle, you ignorant slut.
Good coaching, Tom.
Guilty as charged.
She's a natural.
Okay.
It was
So
perfect.
First of all, the opening credits are iconic and perfect, and the song choice is amazing, and it just really sets the scene for the whole movie. It's going through and showing how different her life is from all of the fashion people that she's going to work with and try to be a part of, from like what they wear and how they get to work and what they have for breakfast, and even like down to their boyfriends. And then the Paris scenes, there are so many scenes in Paris. I went and visited them all this summer. There's like there's like 4 or 5 of them that we all went and visited every single one. And I also tried to throw my phone in the fountain, but they stopped me, so that kind of sucked. And then yeah, the Cruella garbage dress is a costuming masterpiece.
Right?
I didn't say it wasn't bad. It's just, it's bad for crime.
Yeah.
Bad.
No one wanted to catch her at that point.
Anything like criminal though. Like there's no reason for her to be arrested.
That's littering. That was all garbage.
There was
There
was no litter. That was the whole trick.
No, the Baroness at that time though was still like, we want to arrest her. We want to grab her if you see her. But I think everybody in the crowd was so enamored by her that they were like, no. Like,
I don't believe any of them have their commercial driving license. They could have hurt somebody very badly.
You're really grasping at straws there, dude. Yeah. Okay.
The chat is egging on this child, calling me very bad names. I just like to point that out. I am being bullied.
Really?
I'm being bullied.
You just see this. I'm not seeing it.
They were hyping me up.
It kind of
I also
might be me.
I also want to point out that the fire dress was pretty cool.
God, that was awesome.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, except for her eyebrows are still attached afterwards. Doesn't make any sense.
She had the hood on. The hood
on.
was the fire protection.
Okay, so Cruella's
cool
mask is
visually,
basically Cruella's mask is less disguised than Clark Kent's glasses.
Yeah.
She literally works with this person every day and doesn't recognize, oh my God, that's Emma Stone in a ball mask.
The Baroness.
It's all about herself.
Quickly, but she was also like she recognized game, and she was
She's all about herself.
Yeah, but
And it was also bringing her press. I mean,
I will say the makeup job when she comes in with the future written on her face and her eyes are cut out.
That was cool.
That was way freaking cool. That makeup job was phenomenal.
Mike is charging us overtime.
Yeah, well, whoever did that makeup, they nice, because that was amazing.
All right, let's put it to a vote.
Just one last thing, Mike. I just want.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
No, go.
Gabe, go ahead and vote.
I'm gonna go with Cruella on the directing.
All right, Andrew.
Cruella.
Tama.
Cruella.
And Kylie.
Why not just put Kyla? Come on, man. You don't have to make it worse.
It was right there. It was right there.
Can I go last? I want to vote against whatever Maggie votes for.
Okay, Maggie.
No, I was gonna do that.
No,
I literally just said I was gonna do that.
I have seniority.
I
have seniority.
He has seniority on the show and in real life. So,
this little button here is called the
Maggie.
Go ahead.
Maggie. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say wait. Oh wait, because if I pick Cruella, then he has to vote for Devil Wears Prada, and then I win. Okay, so I say Cruella.
Okay. I say Cruella. I say Cruella as well.
You gave away your game, Maggie.
You called me a slut in front of your friends.
It's right there. Justice for Maggie.
It's also very clear that many of Maggie's friends are listening tonight.
Yes.
We're gonna get doxxed.
We just have justice for Maggie scrolling across our Twitch page right now.
Don't be mean to me, you guys. She started it.
She did. I
have been cordial all night. I told my wife today I cannot be mean to a child. I told her that all day, and then I got bullied by a kid.
I love
this. No, I know, but Tom's an adult.
I love this growth moment for you.
Jesus, now I'm getting she's a child. How could you? What are you talking about? This is gaslighting of the highest order.
Kyle, you're awful.
Well,
I did nothing wrong.
Let's move on to our fourth and final round overall.
This is the most smack we've had in years.
I'm not sure there's much else that can be said about these movies, but we'll touch on a couple of things that we haven't talked about yet. The first one, obviously, is music. I think we touched a little bit on directing, but holy cow, both of the soundtracks in these movies are phenomenal. Cruella's, you said 20 million. I think it was maybe half their budget because holy freaking buckets. There's some good bangers in that. And Devil Wears Prada, they're like, I mean, they had the money. It's they Meryl Streep. They can. She probably walked in and been like, "Well, let's play this song and this song," and they're like, "Okay." So, both had really good soundtracks. There is minus the really well done set extensions. There were some really nice visual effects. The one thing that pulled me out of Cruella visually was the fake dogs. Like, I understand that working with dogs and animals are difficult, and I realize that in some places throughout the movie there were actual real Dalmatians and there was the real Scrappy dog was really there, but there were a lot of scenes where they were visual effects, and I know Disney's trying to perfect that before the Lion King or whatever they were trying to do, but some of them were just really bad, and it was really obvious. And I was like, like everything else is kind of nice, and then you have these dumb looking bad CG dogs. Like when one of the dogs like rolls over and kind of moves and it's funky. Even when she's sitting on the fountain, and she has her CG dog sitting there, like it's not quite even sitting on the fountain. It's kind of awful. It just looks weird. I don't know. I was really disappointed with that. That was probably one of my biggest negatives out of the whole thing. Out of The Devil Wears Prada, I mean, it's a full story. I wouldn't say that there's really a lot of negatives that I could say about it, because I've watched it a bunch of times. I've watched Cruella a bunch of times. It's fun both times. There are some weird, awkward, like all of the stuff with her friends, I think they could have cut out because it didn't really add to the movie. It may have added to the story, but to the movie is like, whatever. But for the most part, I would say I would watch both of these movies again, have watched them again. So yeah, there's my overall. The visual effects.
Yeah. Sorry, can I just have a second? I just want to do a real life check-in real quick. I am getting dragged in the comments right now. I just Mike is laughing on me.
Violence against
chose violence.
You know, this will age badly. This will age badly for you, Maggie. People will look back on this and realize that you're the bully. You know what? I'm going to take the high road. High road.
True.
So I was going to say about
clearly many of Maggie's friends.
Yes. Where are my friends? I don't even have any friends on this podcast. First of all, whoever said that, you expected better from me. You don't know me, so I don't know why you expected anything from me. Tom, are you signing up for Twitch accounts like on the side?
No, I was actually looking up songs on the Cruella soundtrack.
Okay.
What would be fake Twitch?
I got your back, Kyle.
Thanks, Mike. Mike, you just put a giant target on your back. You just put a giant target on your back, and you're going down with me. You're going down. Okay.
I'm your friend, Kyle.
You talked about some of the, so the CGI dogs were bothersome, especially the Dalmatians. They looked very fake. Yeah. And that was bad. And I don't understand it, because they did some of the other visual effects so well. And they had the budget. Like I said, they spent $100 million making Cruella. And The Devil Wears Prada cost a third of that, and made more money than Cruella did, which is crazy. It made 10 times its budget, which is insane. I gotta say, I can't remember a movie I ever saw where I thought Meryl Streep wasn't really good and or great in it. Anne Hathaway, I think, for as much crap as she gets sometimes, has a lot of, despite what I think are some dumb choices by her character, she has a lot of emotional depth and availability and vulnerability at times, even though she's getting drugged into this world that, you know, she's getting overwhelmed by it. Stanley Tucci, like I said, is always great. Always love seeing him. Mark Strong, again, never a bad one. The soundtrack kind of missed me on Cruella, because that's not my, like, I guess, style of music or my okay. So yeah, he's warming her up to go at me again. It's just not my thing. But to say that I don't understand how good it is or how popular it is or how expensive or iconic those songs are would be false. I understand that. And they went out of their way to really make it stand out in the movie.
And I think they were period.
Yes, very much. Yes.
As well. Yeah.
But so colorful and bright. I love one thing Maggie said that I'm going to agree with. The shop owner, Artie, who I don't know what year it was set in, but he's obviously doing a homage to an era of David Bowie with that hair and the face makeup, the Aladdin Sane kind of type.
100%.
But man, at first I thought, oh, what silly hair. And then I thought, oh my God, I'm so jealous of his hair. I was like, I just wish I had that much hair to do something with. I was like, and I like that he was just kind of bold and unabashed, and he was very quippy and smart. They gave him great lines, It fit his character great. Paul Walter Hauser, I am a fan of in general. I think he's very funny. He played a buffoon in this movie, I think to some degree of success, but he's like a cartoon character. He's like a giant cartoon character. But yeah, these are not, I don't know if I'd watch these movies again. I think Cruella's a little too long for me. I can see the merits in both these movies, and I see why they strike a chord with people who are looking for movies like this. But to me, I found it a little hard to root for the protagonists at times. I thought the antagonists were a little one note in how evil and cruel they were. I thought the people were a little blind to how their actions were affecting other people around them. But it's movies, right? So you have to let some of that stuff go. Overall, I would say I did not know what to expect from these movies. Again, I'm not sure that I would watch either of them again, but I've definitely seen worse for this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I don't have a whole lot to say about these either, but I think I like the soundtrack for The Devil Wears Prada. But the soundtrack to Cruella is just like, I don't know, it's so perfect. And they do such a, and I know it's weird because I want to say they got a broad spectrum of like 60s British rock and pop music. But I don't know, it's there's not really a bad song on the entire soundtrack. And it's like a double vinyl. It's not just 10 songs. I mean, there's a lot of great songs in there. And like you said, they obviously paid through the nose for the music rights for this stuff and got exactly what they wanted, and it pays off. And it might even be like right now a top 5 soundtrack for me because I love it so much. And it's also one of those soundtracks because the movie is so visual and the cinematography and the everything just kind of pops off the screen that when you go back and listen to the soundtrack, it's almost like watching the movie again because those scenes just come running back, you know. So anyway, I think that both movies are great. I'm always surprised by how much I like Devil Wears Prada. I've seen it only a couple of times, but it is a really fun movie. But like I said before, Cruella is way better than it has any right being, and God, it's a really fun watch to me. I know I'll probably watch it another dozen times because I think it's so much fun.
Yeah, I definitely want to touch on the music a little bit too, and you know, Cruella really does go out of the way to get great, you know, time relevant music. And one of the ones that I think I enjoyed the most was "Whole Lotta Love," originally by Led Zeppelin, but it was a cover, and I was surprised to find that it was Ike and Tina Turner that covered it, and I was like, oh my god, that's a great cover. And yeah, I was a bit surprised by Cruella. I had never seen either of these movies before, and I enjoyed them both, but I was actually not really all that interested in Cruella, but I enjoyed it a lot more than I expected to. There were a lot of great performances in it, the great acting, great editing, and despite the fact that I said it was a little bit long, I really enjoyed it a lot. And I think somebody mentioned the dogs. I mean, I can't hate a movie with such adorable dogs in it. The CG versions of them were a little bit off-putting, but overall, the dogs made me very, very happy in the movie. So, and I'm wondering, you know, maybe we should touched on this in the acting category, but when is Mark Strong going to get a leading role in a movie? You know, I feel like Mark Strong could very easily carry a movie. Should he be the next James Bond?
Kingsman?
He's too old to be James Bond.
Maybe.
No.
The Kingsman,
but
I would definitely say he's a co-star.
He's a very important character in The Kingsman, but he's definitely not. I mean, you know, the other two characters are definitely more prominent in Kingsman. You know, So when is Mark Strong going to get actually a leading role in one of these movies? Every time I see him on screen, I'm like, well, even when he kind of started out as a bad guy, or at least you thought he was a bad guy, and he turns around, and it's like he's so likable on screen. Like, when are we going to get him as a leading character?
He might just be one of those actors that, I mean, he's a character actor, like,
Yeah,
I mean, that's just
maybe.
what he does. Like,
But he's so good at it. He's very good
Tucci's
at it.
kind of that way too. He's had a couple
Yeah.
leading roles,
Mhm.
but
Yeah,
John
well,
C.
and Stanley, talk about charismatic. Stanley Tucci is really fun to watch on screen too.
Oh, he is, isn't he?
And he's been in, we've
Tooch.
featured at least a couple of films with him.
Well,
Yeah.
Transformers, he's kind of a co-lead in that.
He's in Transformers.
He's in, what is it, the fourth
Tucci?
one?
Yeah, we don't talk about the fourth one.
Oh.
That is not one that would have been on my list.
Well, no, but I'm just saying that he has done other roles where I don't know. He also seems like one of those people that maybe he doesn't want a leading role. Maybe he likes being that secondary character that pushes the movie forward. So, I don't know.
Sure. Yeah. No, he's
fantastic.
Yeah, he is. He is fantastic to watch on screen.
His
Very,
cookbook,
very
by the
enjoyable.
way, is phenomenal. If you need a good cookbook, get Stanley Tucci's cookbook.
I feel like, outside of the world of film, he's also a very fantastic human being.
I gotta get my check from Stanley. But he buys cookbook.
You got Tucci bucks?
It's cookbook.
Tucci
Man. I'm
bucks.
pushing it.
20 Tucci bucks equals 1 penny.
3 Bitcoin.
I only have Tony Shalhoub money, so
You got that monk money?
yeah, I got that monk money. Yeah,
Boyle.
Real
It's
quick.
the Boyle money.
Real
Boyle
quick.
bucks.
Real
Boyle
quick.
bucks.
I want to. I can't stop. This has been the most fun I've had looking at our Twitch chat ever. Because Kyle has now entered the chat.
I am not in the chat. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I've been taking screenshots for the attorney, so we're good.
You completely apology, man.
I've only met him once. He saved my child from running into traffic and he let himself get hit by the entire truck. He's a saint.
Oh my god.
I didn't think anybody knew about that.
Well, the child's mother was aware.
Kyle stole my newborn child. I've never stolen a child. I mean, no way he has.
Oh my god.
It's easy to misspeak.
It is.
God.
To find
this is
child.
fantastic.
Like what?
I
what
got.
age?
I just like to point out that someone got auto modded for saying the word that Maggie called Kyle.
What?
That's just what I heard. Someone texted me and said you can't say that word. That's weird.
Well, we have free speech on our podcast.
But not in our chat.
No.
All right.
So-
Well,
Weird.
rounds up.
Okay. Hold on. Someone in the chat said, Kyle apologize. Okay. So I'd like to take this moment to apologize to absolutely nobody for anything.
Smack!
We can move on.
Oh,
Maggie,
Smack is returned.
Maggie, I want to ask you about the fashion in both of these films. How do you feel about them?
I think the costumes in Cruella are just like unbelievable. Like every single dress that Cruella designs, whether it's for her or for like the fashion line, is just like they're so insane. I think so for that, like I think Cruella definitely has better costumes, but it also kind of has the advantage of being like a kind of whimsical, like fantastical setting, so they can do more with it versus Devil Wears Prada, you have to kind of reel it back so it's realistic again.
Tell us what you thought about the moth dress.
The
And
moth
how that-
dress.
Yeah, and how that turned out in Cruella.
I love that. When the first time I watched it, like I was not expecting that,
No.
like at all. I think it's genius. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and the
Yes.
fact that they thought it was so beautiful, and they thought it was going to be stolen, and they were so worried about it that they locked it away, and yet Cruella had her way, and
Mhm.
it was, in a way, it was destroyed, despite all of their efforts to protect it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'd just like to be the first person to say that I did not expect that the first time I watched it.
No,
No.
I didn't.
And I
either.
really liked it.
It was well
Yeah.
written too.
He said he'd like to be the
Yeah.
first person to say that. I just said that.
Oh, you did? Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm sorry.
It reminds me that there was a
Right.
there was a
It's fine.
painting. There was a Banksy. I think it was Banksy.
Yes.
There was a Banksy painting
Yeah.
that sold at auction, and as soon as it was sold, there was like this secret like trap that like shredded the painting.
Yeah.
There was a shredder in the frame, and the painting went through the shredder. And
Who cares?
hey, okay, fuck you, Mike. That's all I have to say about that. And I don't care if that gets us banned from this nonsense.
Sorry, what? Keep going, Gabe. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's the same idea.
Yeah.
It's like
Yes, it is.
it's a super special thing that everybody is like all enamored with, and then it gets destroyed at the end, and that's the beauty of it, is it gets destroyed. That was the
Oh,
point.
now people are defending Gabe.
Yeah, I know.
Just
Why not?
what is happening?
Hey, don't feel too bad.
I think they're being mean to Kyle, but you know.
Tom earlier. Tom, Dad.
Take out Mike. Hashtag take out Mike. Please take me out. Please. I'll give you my address. All right. Let's put it to a vote. And we start with Andrew.
I'm gonna go with Cruella.
All right. Tom,
Yeah, I gotta go Cruella. Sorry.
Maggie,
Devil Wears Prada.
Kyle,
If I vote for the Devil Wears Prada, will you tell all your friends to be nice to me?
I can't make any promises, but I can try.
Dude,
No
she
one
won't-
cares. Well, so they said in chat, no one cares. So
sob
won't-
story.
she won't have to.
It's ruthless. It's ruthless, Kyle.
I'm gonna vote for what all of you girls in the chat are, and that is Cruella.
And Gabe.
I'm going to go with Cruella, and I'm going to say, hey, people, I know this is all in good fun. Kyle's one of my favorite people on the planet. He's a good man.
He is a good guy.
I'm gonna cry so hard tonight.
I know.
So hard.
Kyle, I know where you live. I will come cuddle with you.
To quote Friday, he's going to go cry in the car.
In the car? Yeah, okay. I'll cuddle
They
with
want to take away my vote now. This is some MAGA stuff. They want to take away my vote.
All right. Well,
We're the favorites, so.
while I
Yeah.
attempt to do math, let's move on to our recommendations for this month. And we will start with Tom.
Better
So
not
my
start with Kyle.
My recommendation for this month is a movie about a young woman who moves to London to pursue her fashion career. She's quickly caught up in a huge crime that's perpetrated on her boss, and then her friends from the United States come to help her solve the crime and bust the criminals responsible. And this movie is The Great Muppet Caper.
Perfect.
Great movie.
I love that movie.
Nice.
Best fashion movie. Best
Very
fashion
nice.
movie there's.
All right. Kyle.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I've been so busy getting bullied by children Give me one sec. Oh, here we go. I just saw a movie. I have never seen a movie like this before. It is unique to me. And it is a Japanese film. It was made for $27,000. The first 37 minutes are all one take. And it is so twisty and turny. And I had no idea where it was going to go. It is a horror comedy drama called One Cut of the Dead. And I saw it on Joe Bob Briggs' last drive-in on Shudder. And it is fantastic. I love it. Absolutely love it. So if you get a chance, check it out.
All right. Thanks, Kyle. Gabe.
Well, I have to admit that I don't watch a lot of movies in the same vein as these two that we're reviewing tonight. So I know we want to always kind of try to be, consistent with what we're watching, whether it be, genre or actors or directors or whatever. But I just don't have anything tonight. So what I'm going to recommend. Okay, thank you. What I'm going to recommend is something that is not necessarily all that new, but I've recently become familiar with, is a Genndy Tartakovsky cartoon series called Primal. I've been watching it on HBO, and it's a little bit older, but it's really amazing to me. It's basically about you have to really suspend your disbelief on this. You have to not know science. And just go with it.
Not know science.
Yeah, you kind of have to put some of that stuff aside, because it's basically a relationship between a caveman and a dinosaur who suffer kind of like early tragedies, and they befriend each other and then go through this really difficult primeval world. And it's really amazing to me. The animation is beautiful. And you guys may know Genndy. I'm not, and I apologize if I'm not saying it right. Genndy Tartakovsky from Samurai Jack.
Yep, I think you're saying it right.
Yeah, it's a great. That's also a really great series. But I just became familiar with Primal, and one of the things I think I like the most about it is that it's the epitome of show don't tell. There's basically no dialogue in it, and they just go through the main character Spear and his friend Fang, the dinosaur. They obviously can't communicate with each other, but they do in nonverbal ways, and it's just so amazing. And the animation is amazing. It's very adult. It's very violent. The violence surprises me sometimes in it, but it's also what makes it so kind of enjoyable and relatable. So and the other nice thing is, and you guys will appreciate this, the episodes are only 20 minutes long. So I can sit through it. I can watch an episode here and there. It's not 2.5 hours long. So I would definitely recommend if you like animation, and that kind of thing. You should definitely check out Primal.
Yeah, Genndy's pretty awesome. I've been a fan since Samurai Jack, and then I think he also did Star Wars Clone Wars cartoon. Like the first one before they did more of them with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. But yeah, that's a really solid recommendation, Gabe.
Yeah.
Andrew.
Yeah, I'm going with a film that I don't know if a lot of people have seen it or if they even know about it. But it is about a master English tailor who basically ends up in Chicago doing a tailor shop for like the mob, and a lot of bad, vicious gangsters and really nasty people. It stars Mark Rylance, and Zoe Dutch is his assistant. And it seems like it's going to be a really boring movie, but it ends up being a super fast-paced, crazy onslaught of just all of these different characters coming in and out of his shop, and all leading up to a big climax. It feels very Tarantino-ish without it being by Tarantino. And that's The Outfit from 2022. Highly recommend it. Was much better than I expected it to when I went into it. Like I said, wasn't really sure where it was going, and it turned out to be a fantastic film. So The Outfit, highly recommended.
Thank you,
It's a great movie when I recommended it 7 months ago.
Oh, did you really? No.
It's okay. No. I wouldn't have watched it if it wasn't for you.
It is on the sheet.
Yeah, it is on the sheet.
Oh, it is?
It's okay.
God,
Yeah.
I must have missed it. I'm sorry.
It's worth recommending twice. It's so good. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It seems like the most boring premise ever, but it is so tense.
Yeah.
And it's so well acted. It's great.
Yeah.
It's a great, like, almost like an elevator movie, or put in a bottle, like a bottle episode, right? Where you're all stuck in one place. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. I thought I missed it on the sheet. I'm sorry, guys.
It's all good. I second that.
All right,
good.
Maggie, do you have a recommendation for everyone?
I do. I was gonna recommend The Fall Guy, but then someone already recommended that, so I'm gonna pick another Ryan Gosling movie because
Didn't stop Andrew.
That's true. But I am going to recommend Barbie, because it's fantastic and Ryan Gosling is just Ken. Yeah.
What's your license plate say?
Oh yeah, my license plate is Knuff. So.
Oh man,
Nice.
That's awesome.
You and Amanda would get along just fine. I want to point that out.
You'll have to see Amanda's room. Maggie would really like it.
Yeah, Amanda's
Maggie, that is a
Barbie
great
closet.
recommended 23
Barbie
months ago.
closet.
It's a great film that I recommended 2 years ago.
Yes.
Did you, Kyle?
I did.
Yeah.
Well, I recommended
We're alike.
one.
We're more
I recommended 12 Angry Men.
Hang on,
After
there's-
Kyle
I
had-
got another one. Fine.
No one has
No one could have suggested
It's
this.
fine.
No one could have suggested this.
All right, go
The
ahead.
Bee movie. Hear me out. It's a fantastic movie, and it's about a bee who falls in love with a human woman, and the most normal person in it is the crazy boyfriend of the girl that is like in love with the bee.
Jerry Seinfeld, he was just here.
Yeah,
Seinfeld.
I just saw
Yeah.
him. I actually he did
It's
not talk,
the-
or actually someone asked if they were going to make a B movie too when he was taking questions from the audience.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It is the only animated bestiality movie I know of.
Well,
You need to
moving
get out
on.
Oh,
Maggie, you actually took my recommendation because I was watching the chat and I was going to recommend the B movie.
They're freaking out in here.
So I'm going to go with one that came out last year, and it was directed by Jim O'Hanlon, written by Steve Dawson, Andrew Dawson, and Tim Inman. It stars Thomas McKenzie, Ben Radcliffe, and Damian Lewis. And I have to say, I was in tears from laughing at certain points, but it is in the style and the vein of the old Naked Guns and Airplane, and that is Fackham Hall. It is fantastic.
I
It is
just watched it. It's so
absolutely
good.
hilarious.
it's
that a
great.
TV
Oh, that sounds great.
No,
it's a
no,
movie.
it's a movie. It's an hour and a half, so it's a little over 90 minutes.
It's for Gabe.
Yes, and I agree with Gabe on this. I wholeheartedly agree with Gabe on this. These are the types of movies I miss, like an hour and a half long movie that just makes you laugh, and it is really, really funny. So check out Fackham
very
Hall.
It's very
How
good.
do you spell
Highly
it?
Fackham.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
And yes,
I
throughout
was
the
just thinking,
entire movie.
Oh my God.
they use the joke through the entire
Yes.
movie.
Yes. And
It looks-
they're smart comedy, and then it flashes over to like Naked Gun comedy, like within a scene. There's a funny, like he says something, you're like, oh, that was pretty clever, and then they cut to a scene, you're like, dude, there's a panda.
What makes it so good is everyone plays it straight. It is completely played straight. It's making fun of what was the PBS
Knives
show?
Out.
What's that?
It makes fun of Knives Out halfway
Oh,
through.
Downton Abbey.
Downton Abbey.
Downtown Abbey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely check it out if you get a chance.
Agreed.
Oh, that sounds fun.
So I'm sorry, but on that point, there's a short out that's up for an Oscar on Sunday, and it's called Jane Austen's period drama. If you like Fackham Hall, check it out.
All right, I will.
Trust
I
me.
will.
Make sure the kids are around.
All right. Well, let's move on to the winner of this episode. I'm going to poke the monkey.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Your winner by decision is Cruella!
Flip the table.
Boy, for a second there, I was actually starting to pull my file for it's a tie because we were really close.
Ooh.
Really?
11-9.
Oh, so
Wait, so if I hadn't. That's hilarious.
Checkmate.
Yep. You would have made the tie happen.
Yep. Sorry, Maggie.
You would have made it happen, Maggie.
How many
This is what happens
episodes
to
have we
bullies.
had with ties?
oh my god, it's
This
so
is what
funny.
happens to bullies.
Oh, God.
That's funny.
That's amazing.
I mean, there's two ways it could have been a tie. You know, you could have trusted me, not trusted me, or all your friends could have took my vote away like they're trying to.
They are. All right. Please leave us a review on whatever podcasting service you use. It helps us reach new listeners. If you like us, tell your friends. If you hate us, tell your enemies. You can contact us at cinesmack@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, where you can join the live recordings. Just search Cinesmack. For April, we pit a bear against a concierge to see who survives. It's Paddington 2 versus the Grand Budapest Hotel. For Kyle, Andrew, Gabe, Tom, Maggie, thank you for joining us. And myself, thanks for listening, and go catch a flick.
Michael just rented the Devil Wears Prada.
Get me Armani.
A suit?
On the phone.
Like the main company number? Because I'm going to have to call information.
Where's Armani? He's on the phone. Too slow. You're not going to Paris. I'm so much better than you.
He's a big Meryl Streep fan, so I shouldn't be surprised that he's identified with her character.
I owe you an apology.
You finished the movie.
Yeah, it was awesome. Big surprise ending. Won't ruin it for you.
No, go ahead.
Meryl Streep is the bad guy. You never see it coming. Anyway, if I was mean in any way to you, I'm sorry. I just want what's best for you, Manushka.
Makushla! He's watching $1 Million Baby. He's gonna try to kill me.
This has been a test of the Southsider Studios podcast system. This was only a test. If this were a true lack of entertainment, your head would explode. Go to iTunes and subscribe to our feed. Just search Southsider Studios.